Down for us here on Morning on Merit is insurance industry expert and the CEO of the California Restaurant Mutual Benefit Corporation, Stanley. Kayla, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm sure your phone is ringing and you're getting plenty of texts and emails the last several days. The devastation we are seeing is apocalyptic. That's the absolute best adjective we can describe what we're seeing in California. Why were so many policies dropped back in 2020 through 2022? And set the record straight. Were the policies intact, but maybe the fire coverage was dropped? Or was everything dropped?
So these companies are in it to make money. They dropped the coverage because they were losing money and the risk was too high for them and they couldn't make the profit that they needed to make with the high cost of fire. So yes, they were dropping policies left and right. The reason behind it, there's a lot of speculation. Some of them blamed the insurance, the Department of Insurance for not letting them change and regulate their prices based on the risk. So what happens in high risk areas is they have a higher reinsurance cost. And for a while, they weren't allowed to pass that cost on to the consumer. So they just dropped the coverage altogether. Then at that point, a lot of homeowners either didn't get insurance at all, they couldn't find it, or they went to the fair coverage, which is the state insurance, of last resort, which is very high premium, very low coverage. So the fallout from this is going to be even more catastrophic than we realize as people go and try to, see what kind of insurance that they have. And they are either uninsured altogether or they're underinsured, which is going to be the vast majority of people.
Okay, so I want to clarify something because we're hearing a lot of terminology with people talking about insurance. So is it that the majority of people have no homeowners insurance, or are these companies dropping specifically the fire coverage of their insurance, or is it combined?
It's combined. Some of them only dropped fire. Some of them dropped everything. The majority dropped everything and said, we're not insuring homes in these areas in California anymore, or we're not insuring homes in California at all anymore. They pulled their entire book of business from the state completely, 100%.
So, Kaya, that is crazy because, like you just said, a lot of people have no homeowners insurance. I mean, sitting here processing that, I don't even know how people deal with that. So what help is there for people? I mean, that's heartbreaking.
It's devastating. It's absolutely catastrophic. And a lot of people, most people know that they got dropped, but there's a lot of people that don't pay attention to things like this. And that's one of my wake-up calls to people right now, even if you're not in these areas or if you're in the surrounding areas. Just yesterday, the insurance commissioner, Laura, issued a press release saying that he is creating a moratorium on on carriers dropping people for fire for the next year. But that's a false sense of security, because you might not dropped from fire, but most people are underinsured. So what that literally means is you think you have coverage, but it doesn't cover the value of your home. So the reason that is because the valuations for insurance, they could be valued like 20 years ago or 30 years ago when regulations were different. And so unless your policy has a guaranteed replacement price and you have actually gone to the insurance company and said, this is the value of my home, chances are more likely than not, the valuation of your home in your policy is far below what you think it is. And not only that, when people go to rebuild, regulations have changed. So all of a sudden, your house was built under, these codes and these regulations from what 5, 10, 15 years ago. Now, when you go to rebuild, the cost to rebuild is completely different. And you're going to go rebuild while your whole neighborhood is trying to rebuild and a whole community is trying to rebuild. That means that the cost of labor and the cost of materials is going to skyrocket. So I can't understate the level of catastrophe that is coming. It's just beginning.
Yeah,
I just can't grasp that, and it's almost not worth it. It's almost like you got to move out because you got to save, everything. Kaya, Stanley, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you for the insight on this, because we had a lot of questions going into this next step of this devastating fire. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well.